Alrighty, righty. We're live. We're live once again. Um, got some really slow internet today or something. I don't know. Everything I have is going really slow. It's very frustrating. Um, um, I have probably way too many tabs open. Right now I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven tabs. I mean that's my normal to start the day. I mean I have my website, my calendar, my email, which I have multiple different emails, but my main email for Rick at the Kels Group is up. Of course, this Facebook page. I have my LinkedIn because constantly getting messages via LinkedIn, and then right now I have a script, um, my software program that I use to generate a lot of scripts, a lot of different things, and so the topic here today is really an open topic. I do want to start with our just a little add on to our conversation yesterday about pool safety and backyard and safety in the backyard. I just posted an article. Actually, it went out. I found it yesterday, but I posted it went out just probably like 10 minutes ago. An article from Australia where they're talking about backyard safety, backyard pool safety, and they're actually referring it to backyard pool safety. And they show like a little kiddie pool, one of those ones that you blow up, maybe it has the little rings, you probably have to blow up 3 or 4 different things, compartments to be able to fill the pool. It has in that little blow up pool that probably costs you less than $20 or whatever at Walmart. And they have it inside of a pool fence that probably cost them $1,000 or something. I don't know. It just when you look at that, it's like, but that's the difference between like Australia and other countries in the United States. I think when it comes to backyard pool safety are their laws. I mean, they have laws that they have to have these things. So regardless of the pool, and I think the article is very eye-opening. It's short, but I would suggest maybe you go check it out. It's on the Kels Group page and also at the Let's Start a Water Safety Revolution page. So if you're members of either one of those two, you should get alerts on those. I just wanted to throw that out there. The other thing is really kind of an open topic. This is kind of what's on my mind. Everything that's kind of taking place, and part of it is my podcast, but where we're going with that, I've got a few ideas, and I want to put it out to those of you here. Working on a few projects and looking at seeing if anybody would want to number one brainstorm or put spend some time to collaborate and figure out how we can create something behind this, and with kind of a story format. So for example, let me update you on our podcast. Should have a very short podcast coming out today talking about the rebranding and the restructure of our podcast and where we're going with that, and how I want to focus on the stories and what we want to bring to everybody this season and into 2020, and taking that message to the general public. I would love to be able to create a resource, and this is outside the podcast. So this is something that I want to throw out to you all here. If you're interested, let's figure out a time to talk. There's roughly a dozen plus people that watch these videos every day. So if you're watching this and you're interested, comment below, and we'll make sure and we'll set up something and maybe do a group call to discuss a project. One of the projects that I would like, at least I see here, would be an ebook, for example, something that we could utilize that will tell a story in the right way, and then having some of the experts and people that are part of this group that provide solutions that can talk about that side of the water safety things that are providing services, swim lessons, if it's a product or whatever, safety, something around safety. And I would really love to create a resource that we can use to hand out, number one, to be able to hand that out and provide some really good story format, and then back those stories up with experts that can be able to prevent these type of accidents. So back this up just a bit here. So what I'm looking at is something that would be story related, utilizing a few of us here that have the personal stories, but then there's also people here that can provide, swim lessons and provide expert information. And if we had a dozen people that wanted to collaborate on a project like this, imagine a book or an ebook, and we can even get to this and take this to Amazon and have it published on demand and have an actual physical book. I've written a few of them myself without any great success. I've got a couple ebooks that I get paid every single month on. Not a lot. Might buy me a McDonald's hamburger. And there's one on grief and the holidays I've written, and that one does really good from about October through December. And those have been out there for about 4 years. And so, over time, they've made me probably a couple $1,000. But the point of this is looking at this as having this as a digital product that we as a group of people that could use in our wheelhouse to be able to provide information. Maybe utilizing something like, our water safety checklist that we're putting together as particular subject matters, and tie that around a story format, and then putting that into a book, and I really like the idea of an ebook. We could actually, as a group, if we wanted to, we could publish that book and put that on Amazon. And not that it'll make a lot of money, but it might reimburse each of us about $1 or something like that. Who knows what? But the other part of this is we can set that up so we can deliver that book totally free of charge. Okay, putting that in as a in the marketing biz world, they call it an ethical bribe. Okay, what that is I'm going to give you this. Okay, so here is maybe 100-page ebook. And I'll give you this for that. And that would be, say, their email address, contact information. So we can open up a discussion. You can print, then, if you wanted to, you could print this out on your computer, put it together in a little booklet, whatever, and show that to people, and take it down to your local printer, Kinko's, have it maybe spiral bound, and have that there at your table and say, here's a book, but give me your email address, give me this. I will make sure that I get that out to you via email. And then you can download that and read it at your leisure, totally free. I think, something like that would be, as a collective group, it's just an idea. It's on my mind. It's one of the projects that I've had on my desk and table for a couple of years. I'm not a writer. But we can do these in interview formats. We can have the audio transcribed into, have it transcribed to make it easy. And then we just have to edit that up. If we want to keep the information in the form of an interview, we can do that. Or we can take that interview, transcribe it, and then rewrite it and structure it so it reads more like a book. I'm open, totally 100% open to any type of dialogue, any type of information or feedback you would have on a project like this. Yeah, exactly, Allison. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. When we could touch on a lot of things, a lot of education that will number one, provide information that maybe we don't always provide every time we talk to somebody. We can take them to, say, our story. If you have a section there, Allison, that you want to talk about your story, your program, your project, then that would be something that you could say, hey, chapter 3 is my story and about what I do and how I help my families. And then you can maybe point out a couple other stories that back that up. And so I think it might be a good idea to exactly. Moms talk a lot, a lot more than fathers. I mean, I think just look at social media. Social media is a good example of that, right? Well, I'm not having my energy. I already had my energy drink. I'm drinking a bullet coffee today. So this is the first thing I've had with coffee in like a week. But I'm trying something new. Bullet coffee is not new. I'm just trying something new. I'm a diabetic. So anyways, that's a whole nother story. Um, but I think that would be really great to put in story, but then put in information and solutions. And um, the nice thing about an ebook is when you are in your book and your story, um, yeah, we have more to say, right, honey? Yeah. Um, but when you put in an ebook and you put that in that type of format, you can have links. So you can have they are clickable links because we can deliver that via digital in a digital form. And then if they're reading that on their Kindle or they're reading that on their computer or phone, that link is clickable. So you can take them to your website. You can take them to a YouTube video. You can take them. So not only is the book some good information, but you can provide additional links in that section that's going to take them someplace to make your story, make your information much more powerful. Just some thoughts. This is on my project. This is on my to-do list. So whether or not anybody wants to collab on it or not, that's fine. But this will be something that I'm going to be putting together in conjunction with our podcast, probably. That's another project. Matter of fact, I've talked with a few ghostwriters taking our podcast and start turning some of those stories into some type of a book. So again, a water safety, drowning prevention type of book. Probably that would not be necessarily the title, but might be the subtitle. But it's to hit the power of of these are stories, and these stories are powerful, but at the same time, telling these stories in a way that is engaging, that isn't all about boo-hoo, woe is me, but about hitting home the power of, it can happen. It can happen to you. It can happen to this person, and then putting these stories into a format, and then providing, what some of the solutions, would be. Definitely, Allison. We will definitely include you in on that. I'm almost certain there would at least be a half a dozen people part of this group that I think will actually jump into this. And I would like, and being Allison, you teach little ones how to float, and with your pediatric swim, I think it would be a really important part of that. And I know a couple others I think might want to jump in and put their some of their background and things like with what they do also, because we have a few. I think you're with pediatric swim. Kim Emery, she's with infant swim. We have Trish Muhlstein with Little Turtles or Tiny Turtles Swim School. She's not part of any, but she teaches little ones how to float. She's not part of either one of those, the bigger groups, that is. She's more or less independent. So what are you saying, Lori? So when the unthinkable happens, stories should read. Yeah. Are you talking about maybe like a title? Is that something you're saying? I'm not sure if I follow you there. You sent an angry face, I think. Anyways, but yeah, we can come up with something, and we'll expand on this, Allison, and Lori, and anybody else that chimes in here. We'll expand on that as far as a project, and that way we can be able to. How should I say, move that forward, and basically if everybody writes their own if they want to write their own segment, that's fine. and then we can put it together. The formatting of it is very simple. I've formatted several of these, and so actually probably a dozen or better, and I already have it set up in my Word document as far as to be able to format the book. So we have clickable, the content is clickable for the chapters, so people can go straight, just click, and it'll take them right to it. So it's a real easy process, and then if we want to, we could actually go and get those done on a print on demand, and everybody could have a handful of those to actually hand out a physical book if they wanted to. That would be easy to do. Not a problem. So with that being said, let's see what else we got here. The podcast, like I said, is going to be rebranding, and it's going to be going from the standpoint of the focus of, a journey of one father telling stories of the unthinkable to prevent the unthinkable. And then, we are the Drowning Warriors, and these are our stories. So other than that, we've changed the logo. We've changed the design. I think we are putting out, there will be some merchandise. We are adding a store. We're working on the video, the ad actually for that today. We'll be putting that together with the content and doing the storyboard to be able to put the video and have that edited for our Kickstarter campaign. Indiegogo, we're probably looking at that also. And Paragon, another crowdfunding source that we're using because our goal is to take there's some equipment that we want to purchase. There's a few things that we want to do to be able to take our podcast more on the road, but at the same time, we also if we have some stretch goals, some things that we would like to do. Matter of fact, my wife and I were just talking. If we could raise $1 million, I would love to put a collaboration together to do some type of this year's not capable, but maybe next year in 2021 to buy a 30-second ad spot on the Super Bowl. And there was somebody that did that a couple years ago, and they did it was a really, really bad, it was some swim nonprofit group or something that did that. And they did a really, really poor job with putting something like that together. So I think we could do better. Especially with what we all know. So that would be awesome. I mean, that is when you talk about stretch goals, that is a stretch goal that is really, really stretched out. But, it'd be nice to be able to create something and put some campaigns out there to raise some funds that would potentially be able to be utilized for smaller markets, test things, be able to test and see what really works to get the message out. And maybe it would be something that would be a social media campaign, a Facebook campaign, a LinkedIn campaign, and looking at some of those things. So we're exploring all those things, guys. Like I said in the beginning of the year, our goal is to double or triple our reach as far as the people that we're reaching. That our goal of this decade is to reach 2.45 million people on Facebook and have a water safety message show up on everybody's newsfeed in the world. And whether or not it's ours, yours, or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. The point of it is it's what needs to be done. And it needs to be consistently showing up and be right there smack dab in front of people's faces. So all this stuff that we're doing, all these little steps are, what is that one thing that I could do today? What is that one thing? All these things are coming from me sitting down, thinking and say, okay, what's the one thing I need to do to push our message together? What's the one thing I need to do to have this conversation, this interview today? What's the one thing they need to do? I need to pick up the phone, pick up my office phone here and make that call. All those things. This is where this is all coming from. So yeah, Allison, everyone knows someone with kids. I mean, even if they don't have kids. Then when you look at the grandparents, Jamie Gesh is also part of this group. He doesn't get on our Facebook Lives, but he's part of this group. He is the CEO and founder of Centag USA. They are a drowning detection company. They have bracelets. They have a sonar base. for commercial pools, I think home-based pools too. He's a grandfather. He has an idea, marketing standpoint, because many grandparents have swimming pools. And I think we forget that. We think moms and dads with little kids, but every mom and dad that has a little child that might have a swimming pool probably has, there's a large percentage of those that have grandma and grandpa's grandparents that have swimming pools. He's got a great idea, a marketing idea. We haven't had a chance. We talked before Christmas. We are looking at how to implement, maybe do some testing around that, because he lives in Connecticut and he's talking like Long Island, some of these places that we're talking places that, these people have disposable income. The other thing is their grandparents, they have swimming pools, but they don't have safety features because they don't have kids there all the time, but their grandchildren might come and visit. So he has found that the grandparents are really laser focused and tuned in, because in some cases, maybe more so about safety than their grandchildren's parents are. I know my wife, Lori, and I, we're grandparents. We're anal. I mean, we're just all over the same everything. I mean, we overanalyze. I think our kids tell us to back off, but we overanalyze every single thing when it comes safety. It's just like the chair. Don't stay in the chair. I mean, it's a lot of it's just common sense stuff. But he said that grandparents are much more in tune to the safety thing about grandchildren. So another way to maybe look at getting to the families with children is maybe going through the grandparents. So again, this is all great ideas, because we all know people. Yeah, exactly. They're less likely to have gates. Have that double layer and additional layers of protection, door alarms, window alarms. They probably have the doggy door that goes out, because most grandparents have dogs because that's their children of today. And so they put a doggy door. So that way, and then it goes into the backyard. And the backyard kind of doubles as a community place, not a playground, but a community place. So, hey, I've rambled on here enough. Like I said, this is kind of an open topic. I just kind of wanted to talk about a few things. The monetization of the programs and other stuff that I referred to in the section here. That's what I was talking about, some of the Kickstarter, some of those campaigns, but looking how to be able to put some campaigns together to help raise funds. The other thing is to utilize an ebook or something like that as a handout, as a free source, a resource that we can use to be able to exchange information between us and the people that need to learn what it is that we need them to know. And we can package all this together. So I like the idea. Allison, I think you're on board. I know my wife is. I could probably name off, I'm not going to name anybody because I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you get this is towards the end. If you watch this all the way to the end, reach out to me, post here that you're interested, and let's do this. I'll probably talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, and we can do the discussions here if you like, also as part of the Facebook group. Any other comments? Post here. Reach out to me. Hey, good morning, Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne, I would definitely. You need to go back and listen to this video in the beginning. We're getting ready to wrap up here, but you've got a story. Number one, I want to ask you. I would like you to tell your story on my podcast. We are putting together and rebranding our podcast and making a very much story format, if that's something you're interested in. But we have a collaboration I'm putting out to everybody here, part of this group. Would like to know if you'd be interested. So go back and listen to this video, this Facebook Live. Let us know what you think. It's about a collaboration, about putting some content through stories and having some of the people that provide solutions to have a physical, I'll just say it again, an ebook, something physical that we can hand out, give away, email to people. We can get it printed out, whatever we want to do with it. But it's to drive traffic, but at the same time, putting our stories together and then putting those stories with people that teach children how to do this, other experts that provide particular services, and getting, and kind of getting a lot of information there so people would be able to have it. So with that being said, hey, I'm going to get off here. Been here for almost 25 minutes or better. Finish my bulk coffee. Hey, guys, have a great day. It is Thursday, one more day in this week here. So it's the 23rd. So if you're not If you're not where you need to be on your goals, it's time to go to work. So we'll see you guys later. Y'all have a great day. All right. Hasta mañana.